Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. Welcome back to Big Mike Talks, where today I'm going to be talking about my review for WWE Summerslam. It did take me a minute to actually watch the show because I was away for a little bit. Noticing you didn't see any content from me for a while. My apologies for that. I'm back. Just actually watched SummerSlam the other day. It was a bit of a mixed bag for me. I'll explain why in a minute. So, let's get into it. As we start off with Triple H welcoming everyone to WrestleMania, SummerSlam. I don't get why. You don't really need that, especially when you have a host, which we'll see in like 2 seconds. And then he introduces Jelly Roll, who is actually in the ring performing, and I gotta tell you, he wasn't bad. Like, I've never heard Jelly Roll sing before. I think the first time I even seen Jelly Roll was a Raw a few months ago. So to actually hear him sing, he's not bad. Intercut with the concert is highlights from the lead up to SummerSlam, which, very nicely done. I definitely have a little bit more respect for Jelly Roll. Then we go to The Miz, and he's hanging out in the Dog Pound. SummerSlam is taking place from Cleveland, Ohio, in Raymond James Stadium, I think the name. Or is it Paul Brown Stadium? I forget. And it's the home of the Cleveland Browns. And he introduces the first match, which is for the Women's World Title, as Rhea Ripley challenges Liv Morgan. And as we see during her entrance, Rhea Ripley has Dirty Dom with her. We'll get to that in a minute. Now, they're in the ring. Bell rings. Liv immediately bails. Rhea chases her around the ring. They get back in. Liv is kind of playing a little cat and mouse game with Rhea. Rhea's in the ring. Liv's on the outside. Rhea fakes going to the outside. Liv comes in. They're face to face. And the beatdown starts. And, this looked really satisfying. Liv countered a couple of attempts at the Riptide, which I don't think I've seen happen. At least not regularly. Then we see Liv counter an attack in the corner by Rhea. Rhea goes shoulder first into the turnbuckle. And she's like, it's out, meaning her shoulder popped out. That'll be interesting for a little later. So ref's kind of checking on her. Dom's in her corner. Then Liv goes to the outside, continues the attack on Rhea's arm. Eventually, Rhea goes to the outside. She's still kind of complaining to Dom. She then goes shoulder first into the announce table, popping it back in, which that's metal as hell. Like, that's cool. Then the beatdown on Liv continues. Liv then rolls to the outside, grabs a steel chair, goes for the attack. Rhea hits a big boot into the chair and to Liv. Rhea with a powerbomb, only to get a 2. Rhea then picks up the chair. No, Rhea hits a Riptide first. Then she sees the chair. She picks it up. Dom gets up on the apron, says, "No, don't do it. You can't win this way." Takes the chair. Liv then drop kicks Rhea into Dom. Dom falls to the floor. It's a crucifix driver for only a 2 count. Then Dom gets back on the apron, slides in the chair, kind of like what he did in Saudi Arabia for Liv versus Becky, with Dom then distracting the ref. Liv hits an Oblivion onto the chair to pick up the win. Liv then rolls to the outside, grabs her title, and as she's on the ground, Dominic picks her up, turns her towards him, and they kiss. Uh-oh. There's some trouble in paradise for the Judgment Day. As it looks like Dom has actually chosen Liv. So, yeah, that's definitely an interesting little matchup. The Dom heel turn, I guess, considering he's already heel. I definitely predicted that. It's definitely going to be interesting to see where Liv, Dom, and Judgment Day go from here, because this is just the beginning. So then Dom and Liv leave the arena together. Then we see Judgment Day in the back. They're just kind of talking. Damian Priest walks in, kind of shouting, "Where the heck is Dom?" And then Finn Balor answers, whoa. It's not here. Then Priest asks pretty much the entire group, "Did you guys know?" Finn answers, "Of course not. We were wondering what the heck is happening." So, the three of us, so that's going to be Carlito, JD, and Finn, are going to go look for him. Then Priest turns to Finn, says, "Finn, kill this kid." So, yeah, this match is only the tip of the iceberg. Definitely more to come. We then go to our Intercontinental title match as Sami Zayn takes on Braun Breaker. Now, Breaker goes for a spear almost immediately. Sami Zayn counters it. Then Sami pretty much just takes over from there. Braun goes for a military press slam, but that gets blocked into a roll-up. Braun Breaker with a big old Steiner line. That looked awesome. Then Braun has Sami Zayn up on the top turnbuckle. Goes for a superplex. That gets countered. Then he kind of jumps up from the mat to like the second rope. Hits a Frankensteiner off the top. Only for a 2 count. Sami Zayn tries for a couple of times for the Blue Thunder Bomb. That gets blocked. Braun tries for a middle rope Bulldog, but that gets countered into the Blue Thunder Bomb, only for a 2. Sami goes for the Helluva Kick. That gets caught by Braun. Braun then pushes Sami away, hits a big old spear, hits a couple big spears to pick up the win and the Intercontinental title. I'm going to say this, definitely an interesting 5-minute match. Was it the most dynamic thing? No. Did it highlight Braun Breaker's strengths? Absolutely. And nothing wrong with a little sprint after what we just got. So, yeah, I'm definitely okay with that. Braun Breaker winning squeaky clean. I smell one more match between these two. I don't know if it'll happen at Bash in Berlin or maybe at Survivor Series. I don't know. A lot of things up in the air. Then we go to this weird segment where it's the most savage moments of the summer, and it's Drew on SmackDown taking out CM Punk in Chicago, which, okay. Then we go a little crowd hunting, and who's out there in the crowd? It's Stephanie McMahon, which, alright, cool. We'll see where that goes. Although it's been reported she's not working in the office at all, so she was just there as a fan, which I don't mind. And we get the United States title match as LA Knight, challenges Logan Paul. And who happens to meet Logan Paul on the ramp? Oh, it's Machine Gun Kelly. Haven't seen this dude in a long time. Glad to see he is well. Then as LA Knight is making his entrance, Logan Paul attacks Knight before the bell. They pretty much fight each other around ringside for a bit. LA Knight uses the Prime Hydration Station, in which I hate that thing. That serves no purpose. And then uses the card to take him out. Then Knight gets into Machine Gun Kelly's face. Spits some Prime at him. In which, ew. Logan Paul looks to set up the announce table. It's a suplex into it. Then LA Knight throws a bottle of Prime at him. LA Knight with a nasty neck breaker onto the table. LA Knight then gets Logan Paul in the ring. Ding, ding, ding. Match is on. And they honestly beat 7 shades of you-know-what out of each other. This was a dang fun match. Including a springboard moonsault from Logan Paul to the outside, in which that looked rough. They countered each other's finishers for a bit. Then Logan Paul hits the knockout punch, only gets a 2 count, goes up for the frog splash, misses. Logan Paul then counters the BFT attempt, hits a big old boot into a superplex, only for 2. Logan Paul with an eye rake, then a baseball slide to the outside. Then LA Knight sees Logan Paul's entourage and just starts beating them down. Then LA Knight throws Logan Paul back in the ring. No, other way around, actually. Then Machine Gun Kelly jumps the barricade, and he gives Logan Paul his chain, in which on the end of it is a pair of brass knucks. So Logan Paul puts them on, gets in the ring, strikes him with the knucks, but LA Knight doesn't go down, hits the BFT for the win. So LA Knight winning the United States title. It's been a long time coming, and I'm glad we finally have a full set of full-time champions. Like, Roman Reigns doesn't have the WWE title anymore, and Logan Paul doesn't have the United States title anymore. Then we go to this weird segment. I don't even call it a promo. You have Apollo Crews. He's getting his, dome touched up backstage. Baron Corbin comes in. He starts kind of messing around with Crews. Then Alpha Academy comes in, and then Otis starts doing an ad read for Manscaped, and he takes down his straps, just starts shaving his belly with it. Like, that was weird. Like, I get it. You want to make advertisers happy, but that segment was just so out of place here. Like, I don't know. Maybe you put some advertisements on the ring like Wingstop and Prime did. I don't. That was weird. And look, I love my man Otis, but that was just way too strange. Next match up we got for the WWE Women's title as Nia Jax takes on Bayley. And this match was surprisingly back and forth. Like, Nia did dominate early on for a little bit, but then Bayley fought back. almost gets a rose plant, but that gets countered into a nasty looking Uranagi. Nia hits the Annihilator for only a 2 count. Then hits some head smashes, some headbutts, some strikes. Misses on a splash. Bayley goes for a dive, but that gets caught into a Samoan drop. Nia then goes for a hip attack. Bayley then blocks an Annihilator and hits a wild-looking powerbomb from the corner. Hits an elbow drop for only a 2. And while those two are, recovering, they're kind of out of it. Out comes Tiffany Stratton. She's got a referee behind her. And it looks like she's about to cash in. But before Tiffany can get in the ring, Bayley attacks Tiffany on the apron. That gives Nia an opportunity for a roll-up. That only gets a 2. Nia then with a couple of nasty power bombs and a couple of Annihilators to pick up the victory. And then post-match, you see Tiffany and Nia celebrating together. Now, I know what a lot of people are going to say. Oh, why does Nia deserve a title? I think this does a lot, not just for Nia, but for King and Queen of the Ring. Because they earned, Nia and Gunther earned these shots by winning that tournament. And now they're getting a push because of it. This is how this should go. And while Nia isn't my favorite wrestler, she has been doing a lot of good work lately. And honestly, Bayley's reign was getting kind of boring. Sorry to say this, I love Bayley, but it was time for a little bit of a refresh. Then we get to our next matchup with special guest referee Seth Rollins, as we have Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk, our only non-title match on the card, which I don't mind. And honestly, these two went to absolute war. They countered each other tit for tat. One point, Punk has Drew in the Anaconda Vice. Then he sees that Drew is wearing the friendship bracelet that has his dog and his wife's name on it. So he releases the hold. He gets back the bracelet, puts it in the corner. We'll get to that in a minute. Drew then hits Punk with a big old claymore, only for a 2. Drew goes for a future shock. That gets blocked by Punk. Drew misses on a couple of shoulder attacks. Then Punk has Drew up for the GTS. He turns. Seth is wearing the bracelet now. So then Punk drops Drew, gets right into Seth's face with saying, No, I was just keeping it safe for you. No. Then Punk gets Seth up, GTS, maybe one of the worst I've seen. Punk then puts on the bracelet again, and as Seth is out, Drew comes in, low blow, then hits a claymore to pick up the win. And then Drew takes the bracelet off of CM Punk, puts it back on his wrist. So, yeah, was this whole feud over a bracelet? Kind of. But it also does kind of make sense because it has sentimental value to Punk, and Drew wants to take it. So it does make some sense. I am very surprised Drew McIntyre won this match, because this is Punk's first WWE match, singles match, in about 10 years. So, yeah, it's definitely interesting to see. Then we see Damian Priest. He's back in the Judgment Day clubhouse. Finn comes in. Priest says to him, look, I want to apologize for earlier. I was out of line. Finn then says, look, it's been water under the bridge, man. We need to move past this as a group. And then as Priest is leaving, Finn says, look, you said you don't really need me out there. If you change your mind, just say the word. They kind of high five as Priest walks off. Whoa, the setup is definitely interesting. We then go to our semi-main event, as it's for the World Heavyweight title, as Gunther challenges Damian Priest. And this was low-key a hoss fight. Like, they were throwing every big move they could at one another. Couple times Priest goes for the South of Heaven. That gets countered by Gunther. Gunther then just with the big old chops. And I've seen the pictures of Priest post this match. Hamburger meat. It's funny looking. Gunther attempts a sleeper hold, but that gets countered by Gunther. Eventually, Priest does hit the South of Heaven. But then who comes out? It's Finn Balor. He's at ringside. That kind of distracts Priest long enough for Gunther to recover. Gunther then kicks Balor off the apron. Priest hits the Razor's Edge and the South of Heaven. And goes for the cover. 1, 2. Finn then puts Gunther's foot on the bottom rope. So that is a rope break. Then as Priest is then looking to get his hands on Finn, Gunther brings him in for a sleeper hold. It looks like he's about to pass out. But that gets... Priest then fights out. Goes for a roll-up. Only gets a 2. Priest then again sees Finn Balor ringside. He tries to go after him. Gunther forces him back in. Powerbomb. Sleeper hold. And as Priest fades, your winner and the new World Heavyweight Champion, Gunther. This match, it was pretty much everything I needed it to be. Was the interference annoying? Yes, but it also made sense. Because we are about to see the implosion of the Judgment Day. That'll come on Monday, in which I'll review on Friday. So then, take a beat, let everyone clear out of the ring. In comes The Miz and R-Truth. They announce the attendance. Then out to no music is A-Town Down Under. That's Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Saying, you're not having SummerSlam without us. And while we are in the Miz's hometown, it's also the home of the worst football team in the league. Local sports team Rib. And it's where everyone looks like Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll's in the crowd kind of flipping them off, which is funny. Then Miz gets on the mic saying, look, we're obviously in the Rock and Roll Hall, home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Then Truth name drops the Rock and Roll Express, confusing Waller and Theory for them. Then we see Jelly Roll on the apron. He's got a chair. Miz corrects Truth, saying that's Theory and that's Waller. Then Truth says, if that's Theory and Waller, who the heck is that? So then everybody turns. They see Jelly Roll has the chair. He gets in. Grayson Waller actually bails. A couple of chair shots to Theory. A very impressive choke slam by Jelly Roll into the 16 knuckle shuffle by all three men. Um, Maybe not so much a necessary segment, but pretty entertainment segment for what it was. We then get a confirmation for Bash in Berlin, which is coming on later on this month, which that should be fun. Another international pay-per-view for the WWE. And now we go to our main event. Finally. As it's for the WWE Undisputed title. And it's under Bloodline rules. Now what this means is that, anything goes. Anyone can interfere in this match. And we'll see that a little later on. But first, Solo makes his entrance. Then before Cody does, he's kind of walking in the back. He's walking from his bus. He picks up Pharaoh, in which apparently this is going to be his last time on the road because he's, a little bit older. You take good care of that dog, man. And then we see Cody walking through backstage. And he runs into someone very, very interesting. The Enforcer, his former manager in AEW, Arn Anderson. That's interesting. And he pretty much tells Cody, look, you got yourself in the pickle. You know what Solo's got it behind him. But you still got friends, and they're on their way. So then Cody drops off Pharaoh. He picks up his jacket. Picks up that stupid mask he had on for WrestleMania during his entrance. Makes his entrance. Gets in the ring. And they start like a normal wrestling match. Like, okay? I thought this was a no rules match. But then you stick to the rules. I don't know. I do kind of understand it. You gotta start slow first. You gotta give them the slow burn. They do have a really, really good match, including a bunch of Samoan drops. Eventually, Solo gets the Samoan spike. No, he goes to hit the Samoan spike. Cody catches it. And then just kind of starts beating on Solo's arm. Hits a Cody cutter. Clothesline over the top. Then Cody brings the ring steps in. Sets it up in the corner. Actually, no, that was Solo. He tries for a hip attack. That misses. In which that's gotta hurt. Then as Cody's in, he hits a couple of crossroads. In comes the Gorillas of Destiny, a.k.a. Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. Beat down on Cody Rhodes. Hits a magic killer, I guess? I don't even know what to call that. But that only gets a 2 for Solo. Beatdown continues. First man out for Cody. It's Kevin freaking Owens. He comes in. Fights G.O.D. and Solo for a bit, but the numbers are too much. Beatdown on Owens continues. Then out comes the Viper, Randy Orton. Comes in, makes a save. Meets Tama Tonga on the ramp, disposes of him. RKO on Tonga Loa. Stunner. Then a power slam to Solo into a Swanton Bomb. Cody then with a crossroads, only for 2. Then Owens and Orton then run off Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa to backstage. Then Cody gets the ring steps. Hits Solo a couple times with it. Goes for one last attack. Solo hits a spear and spears the ring steps out of Cody's hands. Then Solo sets it up in the corner. Goes for a hip attack. Right into it. Crossroads. But before Cody can make the cover, out comes Jacob Fatu with a super kick and a couple of moonsaults. Then Jacob grabs Solo. drapes Solo over Cody Rhodes, only for a 2 count. Then Jacob grabs Cody, pulls him to the outside, hits another super kick, sets up the announce table, gets Cody on top, hits a big old splash through the announce table, although there are reports that Jacob might have hurt his foot, in which hopefully get well soon. Jacob then gets Cody back into the ring. Solo with the Uso splash, only for a 2 count. Then Solo picks Cody up by the throat, goes for another Samoan spike, but then Cody just falls. He seems to be out of it. But then Solo picks him back up. Cody pushes Solo away. Super kick. Cody cutter. And as the two are down, we hear some very familiar music. That was not his music. It's Roman Reigns. He makes his return. Big old pop for the tribal chief. Comes down to the ring as he starts out walking, but then he hustles up, gets in the ring. Superman punch to Solo, hits a big old spear on him. Then after that, turns to Cody. Looks like he's about to attack, maybe. But then he just nods, gets out of the ring. Cody is looking like he's just seen a ghost. Picks up Solo, crossroads, the whole time keeping his eyes on Roman, just in case. For the 1, 2, 3, your winner, still WWE Champion, Cody Rhodes. So, overall, I had a lot of fun with this show. There were definitely a lot of more interferences than I really cared for. But they all pretty much made sense. If I could have only one, argument, I would have liked to see a tag match somewhere in there. Whether it be for any of the 3 titles that were left off the card, or maybe even a 6-man with, Sonya, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark against Damage Control, or Fire, Dawn, and what's her name? Blair Davenport taking on Jade, Bianca, and Naomi. Something like that to mix it up a little bit. That's all. But overall, like I said, very fun show. I'm glad you guys stuck around to hear me. Next time, on Friday, will be my regular review show. Gonna be reviewing Raw, NWA Power, and AEW Dynamite, which is tonight. Can't wait for that one. Then on Monday, I'm actually going to get some blood drawn. So that review for SmackDown, Rampage, and Collision will probably be moved till Tuesday. So, we'll see what happens there. Very happy to be back. Till next time, happy wrestling, everybody. Peace.